Welcome back to the Monday Magnets. We're here after round one. I'm joined with some very, very special people. Tom Mitchell in the house. How you feeling, mate?
Good to be here, Baz. Loving your hosting duties.
Yeah, thank you.
You feel right at home there?
I'm feeling great. Dos is maybe thinking maybe I shouldn't have given up the title, but how are you, Dos?
I want the control back. Just playing second fiddle, but sometimes you got to find your role and play your role. So I feel like I've done that the last couple of weeks, and you're flying.
Well, I wouldn't say flying, but give me another couple of weeks and I'll be right into this role. Tails, how are you, mate?
Feeling good. Footy's finally started. Opening round, that's bullshit. We've had a full round of football and it's back. It's officially back.
How did you like the 8 a.m. start this morning, Tails? Bit early for you?
It was a little bit early. To be fair, I actually did really well for it. I was the one waking Bailey up today and he had to scramble out of bed. But so that made me feel good.
Before, Tails was a little bit late, and he said he was doing some dawdling in the shower. So make of that what you will.
Well, and I was still asleep while he was in the shower.
You can't put that.
I don't know what dawdling in the shower means.
Maybe we asked Sam Layla.
They do say in a contested game that the best footballers play their best footy in the phone box. So I guess the shower is kind of like a phone box.
Yeah, I was watching Lin Jong highlights in the shower. Jeez, fuck. Is that what you wanted to hear, Dossie?
You're just extra clean, is what I thought.
16 VFL flag highlights.
Oh, mate, that was the game.
Well, we've got a lot of footy to speak about. Tommy, start with you. You are obviously not playing at the moment, but you actually started your commentary career this week. You've done a little bit with 3AW on radio, but nothing on TV. But how was that experience?
Yeah, so I'd like to be gracing the MCG by playing and doing my actual job, but another job came about, and it was to go do Friday night footy with Channel 7, and I loved it. The crew was amazing. JB, Daisy Thomas, Abby Holmes, Richo. I absolutely love Richo. He's always been
class.
He's just a good man. Or they're all rippers. Like, I shouldn't be singling him out, but they're all absolute rippers. But it was just so cool to go behind the scenes to see the work and production that goes into something like that. Like, we had a briefing meeting probably 2 hours before the game where you're going around literally minute to minute what's going to be played. And then we go down and pre-record on the oval. You pretty much get a practice run of the first segment, but then everything else is off the cuff. So you need to do your prep, which I did. I've had some strong feedback in a good way, which was good. So I was reasonably happy with how it all went, and except for the very first time I spoke. So you've got an earpiece in, and the very first segment I did, my earpiece was echoing. So I felt like I was just repeating myself. I'm like, oh no, I'm butchering this.
Oh no.
And then I, got rid of the earpiece for this. They fixed it, and then from there on, it was smooth sailing. So I did pre-game, all the breaks, post-game, and the feedback's been positive. So hopefully get another run soon. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
What I find funny is that maybe you two both doing a little bit of work for 7 could line up on a commentary team in 5 years' time.
Jeez, that would be unbelievable.
The McDonald Mitchell.
That's a great name for a show.
Would you want to be special comments or full commentator? Because I can commentate as well.
I'd love to commentate one day. Probably have to start putting some practice in to get there. But yeah, maybe we could wax. We could wax on 7.
Yeah, boundary rider.
Yeah, I'll happily be the boundary rider. Stuff Triple M, you've got double M here. And then just Taylor from boundary.
Again,
If you turn yours upside down, we got Triple M.
Yeah, we could do that. We could rock that.
no, I am all about it. We have plenty of engaging discussion to be had today. And it is early in the morning, earlier than usual. That's why I'm rugged up. I'm in my new grey trackies. Fun fact about the grey trackies, got them yesterday, and I've already spilled like pasta on it.
Oh,
So-
that's what round 1 will do to you, mate.
Yeah.
Does crazy things.
What result rattled you where the ravioli just went flying?
No, so I was in my room eating, and for some reason I hadn't got myself a knife. I'd got myself a fork, hadn't got myself a knife, so I'm trying to cut it with the fork, like this chicken with the fork, and I'm just doing that, and then it spills
not what the
over the
utensil's
table. And I wasn't eating over the plate. I was bringing food to mouth.
So you eat pasta with a knife?
In your bedroom.
Well, no, I ate pasta with a fork, but there was chicken in there.
So you eat pasta with a knife?
Sure.
See, that's not answering my question.
But the Rising Star debate has been an incredible topic over the last 3 or 4 days to look at, because there's just been so many debutants.
I'll tell you what, round 1 of football, you'd think the rookies, they're just going to ease their way into it. They're just going to sort of find their feet on the big stage. There was 5 or 6 names that just blew out of the water, and big Sammy Lawler is front runner of that pack, I reckon.
What did you like? What was he did so much.
What I loved is straight away, with the game still going, there was comparisons to Dusty Martin, and I'm like, I'm all for it. The way he was leaping at the footy, attacking the pill, kicking 2 snags as well off the half forward. Like once he gets a bit more like midfield time and he gets the reins of the Richmond Football Club.
And he's taken out Instagram caption of the year just after one game.
100%. Yeah.
He's just owned it, which we love. We had a chat to him over the weekend. He's coming on the pod this year at some point, so that's exciting. But I love the way he just owned that, but also owned the G.
Yeah, he absolutely owned the G with his phalange popping out.
The phalanges.
The phalange. But mate, that's one way to put your name on the game.
He was so clean. Like every touch he had, he'd find that handball. And then he started going a little bit sort of fend-off mode. Yeah. The haircut as well, it was looking shades of the great Dustin Martin.
Yeah, there was plenty of shades, like dark grey shades, which is really good. That's kind of what I saw with multiple draftees, which I probably haven't seen, beyond the last 2 or 3 years. But that was the one thing, is how clean they were. Like Zave Lindsay, we'll obviously get into all these guys, but I thought the majority of these first gamers were so clean, like at ground level, opened up the ground so much. And that's what people were saying about Sam Layla. The fact that he was getting these clean, even though they were 1.5 metre handballs, little Tommy Mitchell Wombat handballs, they were just so clean. And it was getting them out of congestion, allowing them to run. So
Layla or Laylor?
Lawler the
Sorry,
brawler.
I just completely butchered that. Lawler.
I think I say it 3 different ways.
It's Lawler, and because Barras has been confirmed as Barras.
Barras.
It's Barras.
Oh my God, my whole life's been a lie. Oh my God.
And then it's Guinea. It's Guinea. Some people still call him Ginny.
Oh, I hate
no, they don't, do they?
Yeah. People go, Ginny was good.
And while we're at it, guys, my last name's not Taylor, it's Legend. It's got it.
Get him off.
We'll let
Get
you
him off.
Got it already.
So Lawler the brawler was good, but there's not often that a bloke kicks 4 on debut and doesn't get the rising star that week. Do you reckon Murphy Reid might pip him this week?
No.
I think Murphy Reid had the best 10 minutes of his life.
Well, that was great. That got me out of my seat. If I had ravioli, that would have been on my...
That would have been on my job, though.
that would have been on my trackies.
Simon Goodwin, you say all the time, and maybe less so now, talks about momentum. That was just momentum to that fella. And he nearly kicked a 5th. Like, he was close to kicking a 5th.
He had 5 shots in a row and kicked 4.
So it was 4 in how many minutes?
4 or 5 minutes.
4. Yeah. That's like... If a team does that, that's insane. Yeah. One player doing that, I don't think that's ever been done in the game.
Yeah, the Triple M commentators were saying, I don't even think that's been done in local footy, 4 and 4 minutes.
That was, he was having a fever dream. Everything was just, falling into his lap. It was just unheard of.
How would he have been feeling like the first one? It's like, oh, great, like I can go home, tell me mates, great story. I've kicked 2 here, this is great. When he kicked the 3rd or 4th, he would have just been like,
mate,
this is
imagine lining up on anyone in the Geelong, the Geelong back line, sitting in the goal square thinking, fuck, I'm a chance to kick 6 here in this 3rd quarter.
What about the confidence as well? I think it was his first one, sold candy at 50.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That oozes confidence. I love that.
He missed a shot first, and then to back it up with selling candy to kick you first. Oh, I would do that. I'd be kicking the top of the square. Someone get in the hole.
Yeah. So good. And all the debutants were so good. But there's a couple of decisions we thought were funny in the MRO space. Obviously, Jackson Archer has been offered 3 weeks for the hit on Luke Cleary. Now,
did he get the free kick in the play, Jackson Archer?
Good question. But
who
cares?
Will Taylor has some strong feelings.
Who cares? As a Bulldogs fan, you hate to see Luke Cleary go down. But as a fan of football, 3 weeks is disgraceful. Whoa. 3 weeks is disgraceful. I understand that Jackson Archer was going at full tilt towards the football, but at the same time, you're taught to cut off the space of the person with the ball. Like, if he stood back and just let the play happen, like Luke Cleary might have got the handball out and they could have gone down for a goal. But Jackson Archer's been taught to attack the ball carrier. It just so happens that I think it was Costanzi fell into his back, and then Jackson Archer couldn't stop him. Jackson Archer cannot hit his handbrake and stop on a dime. Like that's one-way ticket to ACLville. And yeah, I just think 3 weeks for that is pretty piss weak from the MRO.
Yeah, I guess there's just no accidents anymore on the footy field. Like the AFL don't sort of give anything a brush with the accident excuse. And because it just felt like a really unique collision where someone's head goes first into someone's knee. I don't think Jackson Archer came in and went low and tried to dot him. I thought he just came in and at the last minute someone was diving into his kneecap. It was a horrible hit. Cleary was out for a little bit and just the whole way his head moved. Like it was really shocking and we don't want to see that on the footy field.
The last thing you want to see is someone getting seriously injured, but at the same time, it wasn't. Jackson Archer didn't go out of his way to injure Luke Cleary. He was trying to attack the footy.
Yeah.
No, I agree 100%. But there's probably been 3 or 4 years of the MRO going pretty hard, and not having too much remorse. It'll almost undoubtedly be reviewed, or the club will ask it to be reviewed or taken down. But I almost think it won't be changed because of the precedent. They like to set a precedent early in the year. I don't know. What about you, Tommy?
I've probably got to be careful of my takes on certain things, but did Cleary fumble it as well in the lead up?
Fumbled it
that obviously, because it's similar to the one I was obviously at the Hawthorn Bombers game. Ridley made a decision to bounce when the pressure was coming. Like, a fumble's a bit different, but the Ridley one was interesting because I'm like, the pressure's coming, I'm like, he's going to kick it. And then he keeps running, I'm like, okay, he's going to handball it. He keeps running, then he bounces it, and then the pressure's right in your face. So it was interesting. I thought he should have got rid of it a lot earlier and not even put himself in that position. And then there's the swinging arm debate. I understand that, but I thought my initial reaction was Scrim was pressing. You're taught to press in those situations as a player, get right in their face, close the space early, as you mentioned, Tails. Good intel from you. And like there was the swinging arm, but I thought Ridley could have easily avoided it for himself as well.
Unlucky, brother. We're all thinking about you. But let's get into our round review starting on Thursday night. I was down there. Were any of you boys down at the Tigers game?
I was watching it from a live stream, but I was very, very happy with the Tigers' performance. It's just you hear so much in the media. Oh, Richmond, they're never going to win a game. They're a bunch of 14-year-olds running. Mate, that was. I've never got out of my seat like I have for that game in a very long time. Seth Campbell backflip after a goal. That was nuts. Just like so exciting of a game.
It was one of the biggest underdog wins in AFL history. Like the Blues, everyone thinks is a premiership contender, and no one expected anything from Richmond. And in round one for the Tigers to do that, it's probably the most excited I've been as a neutral watching the footy in a long time.
100%.
Yeah, me and Jarrah were in a box thanks to the people providing that. But we were pretty quiet for the first half, and I just could not believe the scenes at the G. Just seeing things from players that played 20 games last year and have just clearly taken leaps and bounds. From mine, Jacob Blight, I know he went off in the third quarter. I did not see him do half of what he did on the weekend last year. And it's the same with so many. Benny Miller,
I was going to say Ben Miller.
Benson Miller.
What a superstar.
He needs a reserve parking space down at Punt Road. That game he put on was just unreal.
You can probably have Dusty's car that he left under the G after the 2017 granny.
100%. He can
pass it on to him.
He can have that. Another rookie we haven't touched on, Luke Traynor. Luke Traynor put heart and soul into that game, and he deserves every bit of credit for that win as well.
Luke Traynor looked so experienced out there. So cool, calm and collected, sweeping it up from the back line. It's crazy when you bring these first rounders or second rounders in, majority of them these days come in looking experienced. They look ready to go. I know there's a couple of exceptions to the rule, but there's a lot of players that come in like your Dacos, your Levi, your Will. They're ready to go. So the Tigers have brought in 3 or 4 first rounders that are going to improve them straight away.
I must admit, I turned the game off at quarter time, thinking Carlton's going to have a massive.
The Baggers are home.
No.
Yeah, and then I woke up in the morning before training. I said, that can't be right. That can't be right.
Yeah.
That's a glitch on Instagram or whatever I was checking. It was true.
You've been in the game for a long time. Is the title one of the craziest wins ever fair?
Whoa. It's hard to say, isn't it? I
I think
don't know.
in betting odds, it's like the 5th or 6th biggest upset of all time.
Someone did put $100 on the Tigers, which when they were down by 30 odd, I saw that. So I don't, what does that get
Well,
you?
they were $10 thanks to Cole Trainer before the game last week, and so at half time, did you say the bet was made?
I think it was during the second it was made.
So it's probably up to
It's
about
a massive,
35.
massive upset, especially coming back from that margin, 41 points.
Yep.
A team that's been written off saying you're not going to win a game all year to being 1-0 against a team that's, pretty good, proven to be pretty good the last few years.
What about Uze? They said he couldn't coach.
There's no aura.
No
Yeah.
aura.
Well, what a
Too nice.
This is the thing that does frustrate me about the media, the swings
Yeah.
Yeah.
in opinion, and we get smacked by the Giants first game. It's we're done.
Yeah.
And now I'm just so interested to see we've had a big win against Port. Oh, what are we now, premiership favourites?
Yeah.
And then it'll just go like this all year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mate.
It's just like, and then where's the accountability on their media
Yeah.
comments
Yeah.
that say things, and that's just our example. But that's an example of every club. It'll just be whatever's topical. Oh, this is the big statement to make this week. Then it'll change. It's just like you can't, as a player, read into it at all.
There's no accountability, and no one's going back to Kane apart from the people that called him out for saying Uze's got no aura. No one's going back and saying, "Oh, Kane, yeah, bloody wrote off Richmond." They're all like, "Oh, Kane, yeah, how good we should take on the Port Adelaide boys?"
Yeah.
And that's so great. So everyone just forgets like that.
I even think we went a little bit early last week, probably not acknowledging that it was round 0 on a few things. Like, not that, like, in our own minds we were probably thinking we're not getting too ahead of ourselves here, but then you put it into the context of where we were.
We needed content. Needed
that's
content that
right,
week.
That's right.
Had 45 to fill.
Round 0 is just the second week of the Amy Community Series.
That's
You
right.
can't-
That's
you
all-
can't like judge anything off that.
But
As
even
we-
like later in the year, as the year progresses, I think Kyle, I might throw to him. He's obviously running the studio here at Pivotal. What was the year in was it 2017 or one of the years the Tigers won the flag? They were even keel at the halfway point, you said?
Every flag they won.
Every flag Richmond won. So 17, 19, 17, what years did they win it? 17, 18,
20.
20.
17, 19, 20.
17, 19, 20, they were all sort of 50-50 record halfway through the season.
Yep.
And then they win premierships.
I think 17 they only lost the game in the back half of the year.
Yeah.
And the other 2 they didn't lose the game after the bye.
Okay, so the back half of the year seems like it's most important, which it is. You got to carry momentum into the final. So Richmond showed in 17, 19 and 20. Sorry, 17, 18 and 20.
19.
Was it 19?
Yeah, they lost. So they lost
They won
the
a lot of
prelim to
flags.
Pies in 18.
Sorry, they
Mason
did too.
Cox went bananas.
Yeah,
They did.
and
But the second half of the year, they'd only lost a game or two and carried that momentum. So I guess there's a lot of big statements that can be made in the first half of the year, but you sort of need to let everything settle.
Yeah.
Agreed. And we should probably take a little bit of that advice for ourselves and just keep reminding ourselves of that. But just to finish up the Tigers game, if anyone else has got any notes, please let me know. But Nick Voloston, so good, had the one chase on Jesse Motlop, who, by the way, Jesse Motlop was getting CBAs, which pretty encouraging signs. And you just want the best for him because he's probably had a tough couple of years. But the other debut for the Tigers, which has got no love at all, Harry Armstrong. Didn't get heaps of the footy, but geez, I was impressed. Crushing packs.
he crunched a few.
Crunched so many.
That tone was set by
Yeah.
Tone
by
was
Big
set
Armstrong.
by Harry Armstrong. There was one hit on Ollie Collins, which was just like, wow.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a footy act. That's two blokes just going at the footy.
Wait till the MRO get a piece of that one.
Oh, bloody me, 6 weeks that one. He went in reckless.
I feel like this pod gives a lot of love to the unsung heroes,
Yeah.
which I'm enjoying.
Oh, that's what it's all about.
Must admit, I don't know a lot of these names. They're new, but credit to you, boys.
Harry Armstrong.
You're sitting on the couch with three unsung heroes.
Yeah, that's why you're doing it.
who just battle away.
Who want a
at
bit more credit.
Yeah, 9:20 on a Saturday morning. But yeah, Harry Armstrong, so good to see. Even though on the on the
Stat sheet.
on the stat sheet, he didn't have as much of an impact, but gee whiz, in our minds, he really.
And in our hearts, he
rocked
made an
up.
impact. And the only other one from that one I've got is Camden McIntosh was absolutely unbelievable on
The
on
headband.
Cripper.
He had a headband. He had a
gee whiz.
sweatband on.
That was,
Camden.
that was questionable.
That was pretty cool.
CBA's starting on Cripper, which I've watched a lot of Richmond footy over the last 10 years, and Camden McIntosh has never had centre bounce attendances. So it was great. It was great for him to see. Didn't tie up Cripper in any way. He still went and had 33 in a goal.
That's
and
what he
probably-
does. What he does, our man Cripper.
Yeah, he's probably the only
was
one
good.
that really
Cripper was
gave it a
good.
crack. But yeah. Anyway, Camden McIntosh give you your flowers, brother. Moving on to Friday night, Tails, you were down there. The
I
Hawks
was there.
Dons game. I was
was
also
there.
there. Carl Amon. I mean, seriously, so good.
He was good, but I think there was. To be honest, I didn't see any of Carl Amon.
What are you talking
I know.
about? He had like 29.
I was talking to Bailey about this after the game, and he's like, "Oh, how good was Carl Amon's game?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know he got 29 touches, but to be honest, I barely saw him out there."
No, he was kicking it well. He was.
Yeah.
He was kicking
Yeah.
unbelievable.
There was one kick that he hit up Nick Watson. He was like coming down
The wing.
the Shane Warne
Is that where
stand
Watson
wing.
sort of marked it uncontested over his head?
Yeah, and like the whole midfield's like pushing forward, and he just puts it out for Watson to lead into.
They've got a few left footers, the Hawks, who can, use that deception kick, using their eyes, looking down the line, they rip it across their body.
Massimo.
Massimo.
Amon, Scrimshaw can do it.
Is Will Day left?
Nah.
Well, that's just good.
Yeah, he's just good at
Just
footy, yeah.
good footy.
Carl Amon, 28 touches at 93% efficiency.
Pretty accurate.
It's pretty good.
93.
Pretty handy.
Just outrageous from mine. Only 5 turnovers.
Speaking of unsung heroes as well, I was obviously at the game, watched it pretty closely. I think Cam McKenzie's going to be a really good player.
I was
yeah.
thinking that
Watch
the
way
last
he
couple of
moves,
weeks.
Like
Oh, yeah.
the midfield of Newcomb, Day, those guys deserve the credit because they are guns. But I think Cam McKenzie's going to be really good.
I agree. I love the blonde locks.
Yeah.
He wriggles his way in and out of
He's
traffic pretty
powerful
well.
in traffic.
Yeah.
Got a good step. I think he's going to be pretty good.
Where did he play on the weekend?
Mid.
Mid?
Yeah.
CBA?
Yeah.
Love that. Hit
Yeah.
Hit 2, Mackenzie. I thought Battle and Barras really came into their own this week, particularly in that first half. I thought they set
Barras.
the tone.
Barris, mate.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Come on.
Barras.
Yeah.
We talked about this on the pod already.
But Isaac Kako. Isaac Kako was another debutant.
Oh, what a
which-
snag.
What a story. What
Yeah.
a story.
He is the first Iraqi footballer to ever kick a goal in AFL.
That goal was unbelievable as well. It was like bouncing inside 50, just hacks it out of midair.
They're
He
gonna
was-
they'll sell some number 10 jerseys. Every time he went near
yeah.
the ball, you could feel the excitement in the stadium.
Yeah, he was gut running, like chasing the defenders, and he was like 15, 20 meters away from the bloke who had the ball, but his chase was just like, you felt like, shit,
He could have kicked a few more. Like he was just missed slightly by a metre or two on a kick or a handball. He could have kicked 3 or 4.
I think it's just like he'll continue to pick up the pace of the game, but he's one of the guys that he's going to sell a lot of tickets in his career. Like, what a great asset for the AFL and Essendon Footy Club to have. Dos, you watched this game closely at home on Friday night. What did you feel?
Well, I love the small forwards from the Hawks, obviously. The Wiz got off the chain. Our man Guinea kicked a couple, and then he celebrated. He had a couple of celebrations, but he went to
hit the tee for big
For Tommy.
big T
He said he had
Mitch.
something coming. I was like, oh, okay, this will be something stupid that he always does. And he actually gave me a shout. I was like, oh, credit to you, Guinea.
Yeah, I was like, oh, is he going for timeout or is it like, I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, he gave Tommy a shout out after the game.
Yeah, nice of him. He's a friend of the show. Well and truly. He's coming on very soon to the
Yeah.
Monday Magnets.
Oh.
Dylan Moore's in-game running is off the charts.
Oh,
I think he's the
wow.
best in-game runner in the comp. From what I've seen it live. Like, you should have seen him burning up and down, getting out in the back. I'm like, this guy.
3 goals and 21 touches as a small forward as well. Just
Yeah. Looking at back-to-back AAs, the way he started the year.
Just looks like he's matured so much. Like, it feels like he's coming into his prime.
For a little body as well, he hits in hard.
Yeah.
And like normally the smaller guys, like someone of that stature, they bounce off and get pushed off the ball. He hits hard and he's strong. It's interesting.
Dylan Moore a bit dense like you. Like
He's
a bit
dense, yeah. It's a
compacted
good,
and-
he's compacted, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a Wombat Junior.
Dense is a good word. Sam Mitchell's talked about it through the preseason. Like, he knows that they're just one of the fittest teams, and he backs his boys in to just run anyone off his feet. probably the one takeaway I had from Hawks Dons was Hawks were way too fit for him, like just way too fit. Like, there was one play, which I'm not going to try and explain out my backside, but Sicily and the two other defenders, I couldn't say I was so far away, but they were in the forward pocket. They'd made a contest in the Hawks forward pocket, and it got switched to the other side, and they had to run. I saw Sis grab him, and they sprinted to the half back line when this ball got switched, and left these four Dons blokes. They didn't run. They just stayed in the pocket. So, just one little example, but I just thought the Hawks midfield ran the Dons off their feet.
I think Hawks' basic skills as well were just a little bit more fine-tuned. There was so many times coming into... I think Essendon had more inside 50s, and there was times where they're like, Sam Draper could have kicked 4 or 5, but like the delivery was like millimetres or just inches away from like being perfect. And like it's those things that'll separate, well, obviously 5 to 6 goals and bring you back in contention in a game. So I think Hawks, like, their skills were just sharper, obviously much fitter, and yeah.
About a new segment as well, AIA Ball Magnet of the Week.
Yeah. We've got to talk about it right here.
Jay
right now.
Caldwell.
So he's one of them, but actually Noah Anderson also had this 36.
He did. But
So-
have
So
you seen
share.
Caldwell's quadruple double?
But did you? Yeah, your
No.
man did
No.
not have the quadruple double.
What was the quote?
Tails, you take it from him.
Mate. So the good people down at Sench Footy have put up a stat here. It's actually a quintuple double by
Tuple.
by
Is that how you say it?
the quintuple double by Jai Caldwell. So it's 5 stats over 10. So we have 36 touches, 17 contested possessions, 11 score involvements, 11 tackles, and 10 clearances. And the last time this has been seen is when Wilt Chamberlain was running around for the Los Angeles Lakers in the black and white TV days.
That's sort of Will Taylor numbers down at Wattle Park.
Gee whiz, that's Will Taylor over a career lifespan. At
He was tough as nails though. Like I loved his game. He obviously works hard, but he cracks in hard, and yeah, he was really good.
He was orchestrating a lot of the ball use, and yeah, you always found him being the second and then the fourth and maybe the 8th touch of that chain. And he just wanted the ball, and to have 15 at quarter time, then to have 30 at 3/4 time, mate, he was just doing heaps.
He's had a massive preseason by all reports, so awesome to see that that's all coming to fruition. What a super Saturday we had. 4 games that were, we had a couple of great ones, had a couple of horror shows, and we'll start with a horror show down at GMHBA Stadium, 2 hometown heroes of Geelong. Neither
country.
of you got down, did you?
No way.
No, he couldn't pay me to go to GMHBA.
Yeah, not for a Cats game.
Well, fair enough, because the Cats won by 80 points, but I want to open up the floor to discussion of this Fremantle list, because they've obviously just lost by 78, but a couple of injuries. They've got no Fife, they don't have a
Bolton
Hayden
didn't
Young,
play.
Walters,
Bolton. So
Hayden Young.
yeah,
had a few out.
so take it with a grain of salt is where I stand, but how do
Well,
you sit with that at 78 point
No,
loss?
it's a massive question because Freo have top 4 aspirations, and there's a lot
I've
of
got them for the flag.
there's a lot of pressure on them this season. So is this the Collingwood versus GWS mulligan,
Yeah.
or is this a trend? And we won't know until next week, where they take on the Swans, who are 0-2, and they need to get their season going. So that is going to be a massive clash.
Where is that game?
It's at
In
Optus.
Perth.
Optus.
In Perth.
It
yeah,
is?
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Jeez, that'll be a ball burster, because I don't think the Swans have played bad footy at all in both games. I think the Swans
I think they
have
should have
looked.
probably beaten the Lions.
Well, if you're saying that, then they've probably played all right then.
Yeah.
For
I
the
would've
moment,
thought so.
obviously you can be disappointed,
But
but
only a couple points separate you from your second loss. It's not terrible.
We're going
four.
to touch on young Murphy from Freo as well.
Oh my god!
Oh wow, yeah.
Just
Just went bananas.
the 4 and 4.
4 and 4 minutes.
Little fever
Like
dream.
if your team kicks 4 goals in 4 minutes, that's like, I don't know how often that's happened in the AFL. For one player to do it, of 36 players on a field, like, that's insanity.
And for it to be in your first game as well.
Yeah, in
it's
your
like
debut.
It's like, boys, hold my cordial. we're gonna go all the way here.
Oh, I was very impressed with that period of play, but I still don't think he takes out Rising Star Non. I think that's a Sam Layla job.
I think not in a loss like that. I think, Layla.
And going into the third term, he only had 4 touches. He's
It's impressive either way.
18-year-old kid, but 4 goals.
Are we going to talk on Bailey Smith's return game?
Absolutely.
That
So we're on this Cats Freo game. Baz Smith so fit.
To come
so
back
comfortable.
from a year of not playing professional football and to come back and make a statement like that is pretty cool.
Because whenever he played inside mid at the Dogs, he would always, well, you know better than anyone's house as a Dogs fan, but whenever he played inside mid, he'd always put up big numbers.
Yeah.
But it seemed as though it's always a hard midfield to crack when they had Libba and Bont as staples, Treloar, and this is in the days when you had Dunkley. Who else was there? They had
Jack McRae.
Lockie Hunter could find the ball.
Lockie Hunter.
Like there's about eight of them who are genuine good mids, and he sort of got pushed to flanks and wings. Played good footy still, but I think he's just going to get given an opportunity at Geelong to do this all the time.
He looks like he's playing his preferred position for sure. And, I mean, it's showing. I think he's perfect for what the Cats need. And they've moved Danger forward, and that's just green ticks for me everywhere. Green tick, green tick, green tick. Pat Dangerfield going and kick goals.
Danger must be loving it down.
Loving it. Doesn't have to do what he doesn't
He's just
need
a
to kick
big
people.
old, just a big old cannonball. Just crashes the stoppages and just gets the ball out.
So he played
Kicks
permanent
bags.
forward, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just hunting blokes.
Hunting blokes. Like, if he doesn't have to give that, 60, 70 effort games, and he can just go, 15 odd contests.
I can still see him doing some centre bounce work.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
floating forward. Probably
Yeah.
suits him perfectly at this point in his career.
I want to see him burst out of the centre square and just lace out J-Cam one
Yeah.
more time.
He's actually got good hands as well. Like he can mark it. So
He's probably one of the more, there's probably a lot of mids that are, could go and play in multiple positions that just don't because they're so good at what they do in the guts. But, Paddy Dangerfield's probably just one of those guys that's got everything, right? And we know that. So,
I remember one day when I was playing at Hawthorn, I played on Dangerfield one day. And there was this play where normally when they got for a mark, I don't love aerial play. That's not my go. But I was on one-on-one in Dangerfield. I'm like, this isn't good. But I was on the wing and he put his arms up. Normally you can sort of hit their arms or hit body and disturb. He was made of steel. I was like a fly just falling off him. I gave everything to his arm. It just didn't move.
Yeah.
Just clung to contested mark.
Does he
His strength and power is off the charts.
yeah. Does he feel bigger? When you're playing, does he feel like a big mid?
Well, he is pretty big.
With how he
Yeah.
plays?
Is he bigger than what he looks like
Yeah,
on TV?
that's what I'm more.
Because on TV he looks wham.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard.
wham.
Yeah.
He looks
Wham.
It looks blown up. It looks like someone's just got the air pump and go just a bit more on the muscles.
Yeah. He oils up every now and then too, doesn't he? That
Yeah.
always helps.
Yeah.
Wham, bam, Sam. Lakers in 5.
We've got to start oiling up for games.
I'll be oiled. I'll be well and truly oiled.
What else? I thought O'Connor had a job to do on Gussie Brayshaw.
Andy.
Andy Brayshaw.
Oh,
And in the second half, Brayshaw slipped that tag and went and had a really good half. But from the third quarter, the Freo mids tried to take over. They tried to lift and couldn't quite. But I'm pretty impartial to this game, I think, looking at the long term. Is that a general consensus, or
Yeah.
I
is
think
Freo just shit?
I think Freo have got something. Even though I wrote them off at the start of the year, they've got something to prove. And when the players come back, that'll be good.
Pies versus Port. What have I been saying for 6-7 weeks? Tim Membry, what a gun. He's probably the best full forward we've ever seen.
Mate, there's a good reason why I have Collingwood for the flag, and it's because
Tim Membry.
on the G, they play out of their skin, and Tim Membry to have 3 at the end of the first quarter, thought, holy shit, he's going to kick 10.
Yeah, and he probably could have and should have. But,
How nice is his set shot?
I just want to talk about Tim Membry with you all day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's one of my best mates. I'll happily talk about him.
yeah. Well,
He kicked, was it, I think last year? Oh, there's some stat that came up at the club the other day. We're watching vision of something and just something popped up at the bottom of the screen. 20 goals, 5 at one point in the year last year. His accuracy is great. And he practices his set shots a lot. Did some work with him over the break, so I'm hoping when I get my chance, I'll slot a
Yeah.
few too. But
Yeah.
he puts a lot of time into it.
you have kicked a few in Pies colours, but Tim Membry, I'm not. He's probably not going to go and kick 4 every week. But if he can have that production every 2, 3, 4 weeks, even, that's just like such a added element to the pies. Like obviously Dan McStay probably takes the best defense, like the best key every
He
week.
was awesome on the weekend too.
And he was great.
That was probably one of the best games I've seen him play for Collingwood. I was calling him Sticky Mitts during the week because he was clunking him at training.
Sticky.
Yeah, and then texting him after the game, just said Sticky.
Good boy. Good boy.
I really like what's going on up there, what I'm saying, and all my flowers to Tim Embry. We need to get him on this pod as well.
Yeah, well,
We'll do that.
if Tim's not kicking 4, the best thing about the Collingwood 4 line is if Tim's not kicking 4, Bobby Hill and Jamie Elliott are kicking 2 or 3 each. If they're not kicking goals, Dan McStay is going to kick a few. If they're not kicking goals, someone from the midfield is going to kick a few.
Still got Brody and
if they're
Will
not kicking
Hoskin.
goals, Braden Maynard's going to kick 2 from half back.
Yeah, Braz.
Oh,
The footage is so funny. Of
big Brazzy.
Lockie Schultz doing the chase down tackle, Bobby Hill telling Braz, stop. We were joking about it yesterday, and Braz just shrugs off Bobby, runs into the goal and laces it.
Tommy, you probably don't want to comment on this, but I thought without Butters, Port's midfield just looked really one-dimensional. I thought they didn't really have another gear to go to without him. Again, early days.
They packed up the shop, Port Adelaide.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
after Tim Embry put the 3 on the board, they thought, might catch the early bus back to Alberton, boys. But I said to Tommy as we walked in, no offense, but that was one of the most boring games to watch because Collingwood it looks like a training drill, and Collingwood just all over them like stink on a monkey.
And I think Port are better than that. I do. But Pies just put on the clinic.
I've seen Port play much better football, and unfortunately without Butters, it's just a few steps back, but they'll get there. They are a top 8 team, 100%.
Yeah, they if they don't make top 8, it's probably you probably look at it as a failure. That's probably what they're setting the standard to be, if not top 4.
They're probably lucky that other teams got blown out this weekend. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it would have been a massive talking point. And maybe it is that first game mulligan because we have seen some teams not fire in their first showing. But if it was a great round of footy and Port rocked up and it was round 5 and they deliver something like that,
Yeah.
it would be a massive talking point.
Absolutely. Yeah, great call.
Do you reckon if they pulled that in round 5, Ken Hinkley's gone?
Nah, I think
See,
you
everyone-
respect the year that he's got.
I've seen a lot of people talk about how this is why they should just get rid of him now and get Josh Carr in. And I'm like, why aren't they just letting him ride it out for the season?
Why
Like,
can't you just...
it's his last dance.
It is his last dance, and he's proven against like all odds before. Like every time when people are like, "Ken Hinkley's gotta go," when they were like riding on the Port Adelaide like logo down at Alberton Park and like protesting.
I think they did that on the weekend again.
Protesting against Ken Hinkley, like he rocked up and he's still delivered. So
Yeah.
Port fans,
He's got 12 months. They're going to phase Josh Carr in and give him experience over the year, so it protects him for a season as well. I think you just got to see it out, and they will. But I've just seen a lot of media talk about like
there's light.
they've got to pull the trigger. Yeah.
There is light.
Yeah, I just like the. You see what happened with Sam Mitchell coming into Hawks and having that sort of year. Obviously, he coached the twos, but he had that year with Alistair Clarkson that just probably set him up and got an understanding of the list and just coaching in general. And then I see it with this. Why don't you want to reward a bloke that has, hasn't brought you the ultimate success, but has tried his heart out to do so? And it's the same thing. Like, I understand Carlton have probably just had one of the worst losses in recent time, but the Blues fans, some are just, firstly, disgraceful and it happens way too frequently for
At
that
the
footy
race.
club. Happens way too frequently at that footy club for them to be screaming at their footballers going down the race. I understand that loss is it's a bad look. It's bad.
It's gut wrenching on the fans, but
You can't
what do you,
do
What do you
that.
think the players are going out to do? Fail? Do you reckon they're walking out thinking, "Oh, what? Let's just roll over. Let's just have a bit of fun and let's not give a shit tonight."
I thought it's always disgraceful when that happens, and for Blues fans, it happens way too often for it to be it's gross. It's just gross for the game, I reckon. I think it's just a horrible look. But anyway, Each to their own.
Let's go to the rest of the Super Saturday games, Baz.
Dogs v North.
Yeah, great game. Great game. Ripper game. With a lot of the key outs that we had, some blokes stood up. And Ed Richards' playing was massive for the boys. Tommy Liberatore, great skip. What else can you say?
Tried his heart out.
Yeah.
Tristan Jerry, 51 hit outs.
Yeah, look.
Jared Witts had a 68, I saw.
Did he actually?
Yeah.
Wow.
In the game yesterday as well. Sorry,
Did-
went off topic there.
No,
but
it's outrageous.
That's good. That's good.
That's on topic.
I like it. Good
what is the
stats.
record of hitouts?
Oh, in an
I'm going to be
AFL
like a Goldie or
We got a
something.
stats man in here.
in an AFL game.
Cooko, what's the record for hit outs in a game?
Also, another fun fact, so diverging again, when I was doing Channel 7 Friday night, you get access to all these really cool things. So you've got a screen of buttons in front of you, and I've got a button that says Swamp. Have you heard of the guy Swamp?
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
has all the best stats.
You've got a swamp
I had
button.
a personal line with Swamp where I was like, Swamp, give me this, this, and this, and he would give it up to me in not long at all. And so we're on texting terms now. So
Oh, that's elite.
we text after games like, mate, I loved working with you tonight. I was like, mate, I feel the same way. I feel like we waxed well.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm not sure if players utilise Swamp that much. He's there ready to go. He's got the green vest.
Yeah.
He wants to be involved.
Yeah.
I'm calling Swampy. Give me everything you got,
Yeah.
mate. Give me everything. So anyway.
You've got a bit of swamp knowledge with
I've got some
numbers.
Swamp. Yeah,
and-
no, I'm not on his level. Because he said he's got his own personal database that he's used for everything.
So, yeah.
He won't give up his recipe.
He's a
Yeah.
computer scientist who loves footy, and
Yeah.
he's built this archive and this database where he can access anything.
How good is it?
I can't wait for Titch's next commentary stint, and he's going to be just every second thing. It's rattling off a stat, and everyone's going to be like, "Titch, you are
A genius.
the man."
Credit to Swamp.
A swamp button, that is unbelievable.
We got a hit out record. 80.
I said it was Goldie.
80.
Oh,
TG.
I said it was
Goldstein.
Goldie.
Sandilands must be close too.
Yeah,
Sandilands.
you'd have to think the world's tallest ruckman.
Yeah.
He's up there with something.
It's just awesome to know Goldie is in the record book somewhere. That's great to know because I love Goldie. We've got to wrap up soon, so let's go through this pretty quickly. Dos, your D's. Disappointing result. Plenty of positives to come out of it. Can you give us a 1 minute recap, please, mate?
Well, after the Giants' opening round performance, I don't think anyone gave us a sniff, especially with 6 debutants.
That's 10 seconds, mate. Sped up.
And they just played out of their weight class again. I think we did it a little bit last year where we played out of our weight class. We've got a really young nucleus and then a really old sort of top end, but there's no one in the middle. So it's this weird sort of mix at the D's at the moment where we're quite raw and experienced, and we've just got to fill that gap a little bit. But Toby Green took it away in the last quarter. Finn Callahan took it away in the last quarter. And then Lockie Keefe, of all people, took a clunk with 50 seconds to go.
Edwards Keefe.
He goes back and slots it. And I'm not sure if he's playing. Was it Briggsy that got injured last week? So it's so funny how the world works. Lockie Keefe comes in, kicks the winner. But the D's were brave, and I don't think they lost any stock.
I'm pretty happy with the day's performance. I thought Zave Lindsay on debut was great. I thought he was super clean.
He reminded me of Gussie Brayshaw a little bit. I know they've got different skill sets, but really classy, really smart,
How long has he been going
and
for?
really hard, really hard at it.
That's 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
That's the,
Bullshit.
extent,
All
that's
right.
the extended copy.
Ah, get out of it.
No, plenty of positive signs. I thought Harrison Petty was pretty positive as well.
Yeah, he's a backman apparently.
And he should be.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to finish on the Saners. Probably not much to speak about. I don't want to relive that experience. But we get all our boys back in 3-4 weeks.
Hey, it was a good game by Adelaide. I think Sid Draper looked promising.
Are the Crows scary?
The Crows are back in a big way. This is seriously Burton, McLeod, Goodwin, Paul Pleasure, John Cock
Edwards.
areas. Edwards.
yeah.
This is the areas. Chris Knight areas.
Joe Petrenko.
Jay Petrenko areas. So I'm huge on this Crows team. They should be also fighting for the 8. But
One last shout out, and it's Melbourne related. But Matt Jefferson holds the record for the fastest goal on debut now.
Wow.
He kicked a goal in 16 seconds on debut. I think the next one is 33 seconds. So he's smashed the record Usain Bolt style.
Thanks, Swamp.
Love it.
Yeah. Thanks, Swamp. Chat to you soon.
All right, it's a big round review. We probably missed things.
We've missed a game.
Have we?
I reckon we missed a few, but
We don't.
it's,
We've
you know,
got to get.
it's-
We've got to get out of the studio.
Oh, well,
I've
stick
got to
around.
get to training, boys. We got big game to get ready for. Pies, dogs this week, Friday night.
Absolutely.
Me v Tails.
Yeah.
I have to put a coffee on it or something.
Absolutely.
Stick
I'll,
around for part 2. We'll chat about West Coast and Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Thanks, Goldie. Thanks, West Coast. No, thanks for listening to episode 7 of Monday Magnets. Tommy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
Anytime.
Titch. It's always a pleasure.
Oh,
Sorry
love
if we
it.
missed your
love it.
team.
We love it.
We'll speak about him at some point. See you guys. Thank you.
Oh, the Gold Coast fans are going to come hunting for us.
Yeah.